Hey, hi Suraj, hi.
Hi. So just to introduce, we have Supriya, who takes care of our mentorship program. She mentors the students. We also have our student Priyanka Udeshi. She got 8 exemptions, and she has very high regards for your classes as well.
Very nice, very nice. Hi Priyanka.
Hi sir.
Good to see you. Good to see you, and hearty congratulations first of all before we proceed further.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are live. Hi students. Welcome to this YouTube live session on preparation for May 22 examination. Let other students also join in, and we'll start off. Let me just quickly send out a notification, and then we'll start the session. Yeah. Okay, so we have around 10 of them already coming up. Hi students, I hope you are able to hear us live. Welcome to this session. We are specially focusing this for students who wrote in December 21 and for whatever reasons could not clear it, and now they're planning for May 22 examination. So with me, I have Shiva Teja, our indirect taxation faculty. We have Supriya Samant, who is our mentor here. She carries out mentorship programs for our students. And we also have Priyanka Udeshi, who successfully cleared her December 21 examination with 8 exemptions. So I hope some insights from her also would help you to prepare well for the examination. So yeah, we have quite a few of them joining in. Hi Anirudh, hi Rushiraj. So without taking much of time, let us start the session and get going. Welcome once again to whoever have joined in late. Yeah. So as I told you, the idea is how to bounce back from the December 21 setback to May 22. I would not term it to be a failure. A lot of students say, I have failed. I think we have to change that language. It's a journey. Okay, so it's not that every time we'll have success. Sachin also gets out at duck. Okay, Virat Kohli doesn't perform always well. He doesn't always score a century. So let us get that that it's a failure to success. I would not term it that way. We were unsuccessful in that attempt. We have to take learnings from that attempt, and then we have to plan for the next attempt. Of 2-3 quick things I would like to put forward is just have a self-check on yourself as to did you complete the syllabus, or had you completed the syllabus? Did you do enough revisions? Did you write at least one mock test? These are questions which you need to answer for yourself. A lot of answers I think would come from that. Okay, I would now hand it over to Supriya for her insights on how can students bounce back from the previous attempt and how can they prepare well for the next attempt.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Suraj. Okay, and Suraj sir has already given us some wonderful insights to, so today I'm going to talk about 4 ways to bounce back. See, as he correctly said, failures, or you call it an unsuccessful attempt, whatever you call it, right? So failures are a part of life. Whoever, any person you take, he or she has faced failure in their life. Now, what is very, very important is you take this as an opportunity to cultivate trait of resilience, right? This is the trait of highly successful people. Now, what do I mean by resilience? I mean that, to bounce back stronger, to work harder, right? So I know you all have spent a lot of time, you all have given it your best, right? But, this is, as he said, this is just a part. It's a journey, right? You have to consider CA as a learning ground to develop resilience. So I'll tell you something. Our research has shown that the most successful people, like there are a lot of qualities in them, but the most important quality is resilience, their ability to bounce back. So what I would like to tell you all is, even I have faced failures. I cleared CA in second attempt, like final CA. So what I would like to tell you all is take this as a learning ground, take this as an opportunity to get better and better, and you are going to succeed in life in the future because you are already developing this ability at a very, very early stage, right? Non-CAs don't get this. We have got it. Now, second thing, what I would tell you all is, the other thing is only thinking positive, like, I'm going to clear, like, I am not going to have any negative thoughts is not going to help you out. See, I've worked with so many students. What I would like to tell you all is when we try to counter a negative thought with a positive thought, a chain of thoughts is created. So a very, very simple way out is, it's a time-tested thing that you need to introduce some meditative exercise in your daily routine. It can be any small yogic practice, anything. So this will help you reduce the thoughts, like reduce your negative thoughts and create a positive mindset. So any of you all, if you all want, you all can see on YouTube, but if you all want, you all can just send me on your email IDs. I'll be happy to share, like a daily attention exercise created by Antarlaksha, which you can do every single day. Now coming to the third thing, finding your weakness. See, as Suraj sir correctly said, something must have gone wrong, right? You put in your best, but somewhere you must have gone wrong. So as he said, he said multiple things. I'll just tell you 6 things in short. And if you can rate yourself in these 6 areas, you will know where, maybe 1 or 2 areas you fell short. So first is duration. What I mean by duration is like, you have to study, you have to do revisions, you have to write papers. It requires a lot of time. So did you put in those required hours every single day? Second, were you consistent with your efforts, right? Were you consistently studying, right? Like if you decided a target for week, were you doing it consistently? Third, what I would like to talk about is quality. How good was your quality of studies? Were you focused? Were you completely there when you were studying? Or you had lots of thoughts, lots of distractions, right? Fourth is effective. How effective was your study? I mean, like, were you conceptually understanding things really, really well, right? And second, were you testing your applicability of knowledge? How well did you apply your knowledge? Like, were you practicing enough? Fifth is efficiency. So what I mean by that is, we have a limited period now. You have 2.5 months left, right? Are you using your time efficiently? Did you do your conceptual understanding well? Did you do writing practice, revisions, writing papers? As Suraj sir rightly pointed out, minimum writing a paper, I would recommend 2 minimum, 2 revisions, 2 papers, and timed written practice, everyday writing, right? In your revision phase, whichever chapters you're taking, pick random questions and try to write and solve. Now, the last thing what I would like to tell you all is, now don't waste any, not waste, now don't spend time in hesitating on thinking what happened in the past, because your success is, proportionate to how much time, how soon you start, because every day is important. And I can tell you with, I've worked with so many students, and my example also, the day I got my results, I started studying, because I know there's, this time is not coming back, and you have these 2.5 months where you can give your best shot. So this is what I want to say. It's a very, try this out, and all the best for your exams.
Yeah, thanks, Supriya. I think a few points what she mentioned, I just again want to re-emphasize. One is bouncing back. That is very important. And, there is a story going around, and I think it actually happens also. Apparently, Australian armies do not hire people who are always successful, because they never know how to handle when, things don't go their way. Okay, so that is one thing. And then those questions, right? Those questions, I think, see, we are here to help you. And this forum is open. Whatever kind of doubts you have, whatever kind of preparation help you want, we'll be happy to take that. You can ask specific pointed questions. We will be, addressing those. But then some questions you have to sit down and think and write and see that, did you do those things? Did you, give in your 100%? If it was not 100% in the previous attempt, then let us make it 100%, 101% in this attempt, so that we can, pass with good marks, and we can pass with flying colors, right? So students, if you have any specific doubt, you can ask it here. In the meanwhile, Shiva Teja, if you can share your thoughts on it. We have about 80 of them watching us. And we'll have to talk to them about various strategy, what tips you can give to them, so that they can bounce back and prepare.
Yeah. Hello guys, very good evening and warm welcome to all of you. I'm sure this is a wonderful time for us to discuss, because we thought this is the best time. You guys will be very hyperactive and focused and got ready to watch out Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and all. And I'm sure this time what you're going to spend with us will be very productive for you guys. First of all, let me keep it very short and simple. See, I'm sure a lot of you guys would have succeeded, would have not succeeded. One thing, let me tell you very clearly, just get out of that myth that if you qualify in the first attempt, only then you are a CA. Let me tell you, your name of CA will remain the same even if you qualify in second attempt. Nobody will write CA bracket second attempt. There's nothing like that. So please feel free and feel happy that it's okay. It's just one attempt which has got postponed. That's it. As simple as that. In a 6 balls in an over, if there is a low ball or a wide ball, there's definitely one extra ball to be bowled by a player. So when the bowler balls an extra ball, doesn't mean that he's not fit for anything. It's just that one ball went out of the passion and he's going to bowl an extra ball. That's it. But still, he is the best. So in the same way, by any chance, if this attempt is not done, don't worry at all. I can give you hundreds and hundreds of examples of our students who have performed in second attempt, third attempt, but still they're performing extremely well. I still have a student who's working with me right now. He qualified his CA in the third attempt. But let me tell you, he is getting a better package than the first attempt guy. But of course, I'm not telling you to qualify the third attempt. Don't misinterpret that statement. I'm telling you very clearly that your one attempt will not change your career. But all said and done, this is being told very clearly to make sure that you're very positive and bounce back with extreme level of perfection. And do those things which you could not do it. And don't do those things which you have done it, which made you fail. Don't do that at all. That is very, very important because your learning from your mistakes will make you better. If that is not happening, then it doesn't work at all. Because I personally believe something a lot, which I really want you guys to believe a lot. That is, whatever you are today is because of your past actions. What I will be tomorrow will be because of today's actions. So if today's action goes wrong, tomorrow's will never be better unless you perform today the better. And it has to be the best. It cannot be the better at all. It has to be the best. So give your best shot. It will definitely work out. And any subject related query, don't hesitate at all. Just drop out a forum. We have got a lovely forum access. Just drop a message. We'll be more than happy to reply. In fact, let me honestly tell you, the day when we get more forum queries, we actually feel extremely happy that a lot of our users are watching out. They are coming back to with queries. We'll be happy to reply to all your queries. I'm telling you, not just for my subject, for all the subject, we have got good set of faculties who will be more than happy to reply to your queries. So don't hesitate. You can ask any query, but so don't actually ask today, which color shirt or sweater is that, which color is this. Don't ask that query. Your subject query, anything you ask, we'll be happy to answer.
So actually yes, what happens is the forum related query, let me tell you to all of the students who are watching us right now, the forum activity peaks up just 15 days before the examination. So today on an average, we get some 15-20 queries. Okay. This activity will be 60, 70, 80 questions a day just before the examinations, right? So that is one thing. Okay, so now we have got a lot of questions.
Right. One question I'll answer, Suraj.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. I also have a chat box open in other.
Sure.
Yes. So one student was asking, sir, please conduct revision lectures like last time. Shiva Teja sir, Suraj sir has conducted. They were very helpful. Conduct early this time. That plan of action is already being designed, and very, very soon we'll come up with all the dates. And that revision lectures are on the way to make sure the preparation goes the best. But you guys should be ready to tackle that, ready to answer that, ready to participate. That is our humble submission from the entire Indigo Learn team.
Sure. Thanks, Shiva Teja. So I think now we have Priyanka's help we need here. Definitely we'll also have sessions by, Anvesh and all where you have discussed the exam strategy. So, a lot of students are asking EIS, SM and audit strategy. So, what was your strategy for, these two papers? How did you, prepare, like after watching the videos, how did you revise? How many times did you revise? Can you just give a thought on that?
So EIS, SM and audit, these are the most crucial subject, which they are like a game changer. If you excel at these two subjects, your group 2 is done. I believe that.
Okay.
So in EIS, SM and audit, the strategy would be similar. It doesn't matter that the number of revision. What matters is how consistently you remember it and do it. So for that EIS, SM and audit, I used to adopt a daily revision strategy. Daily, I used to devote 1.5 hours for either of the subjects. And I completely did it from ICI module only. Just focus on the head points much and the content less. Even in audit, do all the answers which have points or headers. They are much more important than any other paragraph points. So that would be a complete strategy for EIS, SM and audit.
So I think because EIS, SM and audit, there are theory heavy thing and you have to remember a lot, especially when it comes to audit and EIS. SM is somehow slightly general and you can understand and do it. EIS has lots and lots of concepts and lots of terminologies. Same is with the audit. Audit is also too bulky, right? So as you rightly said, even in fact, that was my strategy when I was, preparing for ISCA for final. Every day, 1 hour in the morning, I'll read that topic because I'll forget otherwise. Okay. So I think what Priyanka said makes a lot of sense here. You can get into this thing that, because you don't remember, You can dedicate some specific time slot every day where you will revise the subject. And most important, sometimes when I also start writing, if I have to write something, letters or notes and all of that, I can't write properly because I don't have writing practice. Same thing is applicable for your theory subjects. If it is a practical subject, you'll put some numbers, you'll draw some formats, and it is done. Theory means you have to actually sit, think, and write. So any difficult concept or any concept you learn, if you can start writing as well, practicing as well alongside, I think that will go a long way to help you prepare for your examination.
Also,
right?
what one can do is study 1 or 1.5 hours in the morning, and at night before going to bed, just recollect what you have studied during the day. So that retains the concept much more, especially in theory subjects.
Sure, and I have a question, Priyanka. I'm sure which a lot of people will be having the same question, that since you have got exemption in all the subjects, one quick question which everybody will be having is, how many hours you have studied in a day?
Around 8 to 10 daily, consistently.
Yeah. Students, please note that point. Just come out of that myth. 18 ghanta padna hai, 16 hours padna hai. Just come out of all that shit. Right. So please, whatever time you dedicate, give your best.
Just maintain the consistency. ऐसा नहीं कि एक दिन 16 घंटा पढ़ा और एक दिन सिर्फ 2 घंटा पढ़ा. Don't do that.
True. Right. Thanks, Priyanka. So now, could not attempt for 100 mark. So if one thing what you need to understand is, attempting 100 marks may not be always necessary. Even if you can attempt for 85, 90 marks properly, you will be able to score a decent mark. Practice is important. Mock test practice is very, very important. I'll tell you my example. Aman, one of our other student whose interview you would have seen the other day, he took 4 hours to complete a 100 marks question when he was writing the mock test. And that is where he sat back and thought that where is he wasting extra time? Why is it taking him more time? And then that helped him prepare for the actual examination. So the reason why we are emphasizing on mock test is that you get an exam practice. Before the examination, you get an exam practice, which helps you to prepare for the examination, prepare for that, 3 hours in the examination. Why I can't use iCash for mock test? Because mock test is, we don't make any profit out of it. We have to pay GST also. Okay. So we cannot give discount on mock test. It is already at a very subsidized price, right? So that's why we don't allow, usage of iCash. Learned indirect tax from, his name is Shiva Teja. His virtual brother, imaginary brother's name is Ravi Teja. Okay. Then number of hours, we already covered that. Gauri, yes, Shiva addressed your concern. We'll conduct more revision sessions. Okay, so one more thing, Priyanka. What do you suggest? Do you suggest one subject per day, or what was your approach? Like 2 subjects, 3 subjects? How many subjects would you do?
2 subjects per day, 1 theory and 1 practical. That is the most correct approach, I believe. Okay. Mususek will definitely be providing some rapid revision videos for some topics. For some subjects, it's already available, like for SM, for EIS, for taxation, we are anyways planning, right? So for accounting standards, we already have, and then that would be there as a part of plan. Is 2 months sufficient to give both groups of CA Inter? Now, we actually have 2.5 months, and if it is your first time, then it is difficult. But if you have already written in December, if this 2.5 months is only for your revision purpose, then it is more than sufficient. Yeah. So you can just, give 7 days time to each subject, and you will be able to cover both the subjects. Conversion pending at institute. I think it will take some time to get converted, but you have to write to SSB portal and get it. So theory practical, Priyanka has already addressed. Shiva Teja, specific question, taxation strategy. So you can give both for direct taxation as well as indirect taxation. Yeah. So guys, this taxation paper is one such paper which is actually very scoring, and I'm sure every faculty will tell their paper is scoring. But let me tell you honestly that this tax paper is very scoring for that reason, because it is one of the most practical paper of 100 marks. HCF, and it is for 200 marks. Direct tax, indirect tax, separate papers are there. And as you guys know that 60 marks weightage is given for direct tax and 40 marks for indirect tax. Indirect tax is one such part where out of 40, getting 30 is very simple and very much possible, because the content wise, it's not so big and it's not so huge, but it's very practical. And it's so beautiful subject that every walk of your life, you get to see that GST. At the same time, even in income tax, your topics like heads of income, return of income, TDS, those areas are those which will hunt you back even in your articleship and also in your
CA final. So those topics are really important. And when you ask me an ABC analysis of these topics, in nets of income, of course, all set and done, your capital gains, PGPP has got a good amount of weightage from an exam standpoint. And in indirect taxes, topics like value of supply, input tax, credit have got a good amount of weightage. But always keep in mind that you have got good set of marks for your multiple choice questions. So please don't do a selective study, because selective study, what happens is that those MCQs you tend to miss out, which are actually very scoring. So don't miss out on that MCQs. Your target should be that 90% of the marks of that MCQ should come at any cost. That way your preparation should be. So don't do a selective study. Of course, you please have a clarity that what are the ABC topics, but don't do a selective study. That is very, very important. And in taxation, do ensure that you write your own mock test paper and also look at last couple of attempts RTPs, because those give a good insight of your amendments. Especially students who are writing in May, November, what happens is that amendments has got a good amount of weightage in the examination standpoint. See, because you know that indirect taxes, every attempt you get a statutory update. Recently, we released the video for indirect taxes part also on the YouTube. Direct tax released long back also. Why indirect tax we give every 6 months? Because good number of changes come every 6 months. But direct tax amendments come only through Finance Act. So whatever amendments are there for May will equally apply for November. And what amendments for there for November, extra more points will come for May also. So amendments don't miss out at any cost. Amendments will have a good amount of weightage from an examination standpoint. So this strategy will ensure that you do for taxation, but practice the heads of income problems at any cost. Indirect taxes practice, we don't have much except for value of supply and input tax credit topic. And good thing, ICA already removed that rules 42, 43 of apportionment. That activity is always gone. So you have got
that was one
amount of weightage.
Yeah, that was the thing. Even for me to go through the videos a couple of times and like what is this and what is that and all of that. I think
good. So one itself thought we'll give you more time in final. Let's play the game there.
So one important thing what Shiva Teja touched upon is MCQ. Now MCQ, friends, if you know, audit has 30 marks and EISSM has 30 marks. Okay. Now, because, audit, they can trick you somewhere here and there. For EIS and SM, generally it has to be, and they will give something called, a case study based question and all of that. But even there, the most of the questions, if you see, those are direct questions only. Those are nothing to do with, those are nothing like very twisted and, that kind of a case study. Those are generally, there'll be a big paragraph, but the questions are more or less direct. Okay. Now, if you can score 20, 25 marks out of those 30 marks, then scoring balance 20, 25 marks from the balance 70 marks of the paper will not be a challenge.
Correct.
That is one. And this thing I have been telling to all the students right from the time, when I was studying and I was involved with the exam department and all of those things, 50 to 60% of the paper, pick up any paper, 50 to 60% of the question paper can be attempted if you have prepared once properly. I can actually write on a bond paper and give it to you. Exceptions would be there once in a while. They will give very tough questions and very tough papers. That is a part and parcel of the game. But 50 to 60%, if you have done even one time preparation properly, you will be in a position to attempt. For example, taxation only, computation, your calculation of value of supply and all of that would be there. So it is important that you finish up the syllabus once, revise it once properly, write a couple of mock tests, and focus on this 50-60% of easy or average questions. I would not say easy, average questions, right? And Off Late Institute has been picking up questions from study material directly. So if you are comfortable with that, if you're confident in scoring from those questions, then balanced mark should not be much of a challenge for you. Okay, that is my experientially I'm giving you an advice. Yes, Shiva Teja.
And one point I want to tell you before I complete about taxation as such. See, some students might get a doubt, sir. Whatever we discuss in the videos, will that be sufficient? See, one point, let me tell you, we have covered problems extensively from all the last year RTPs, MTPs, past exam papers. We have got a good amount of content team who will always be at the back of us telling this paper you record, this paper you record. So we finish off all the past exam papers recording. So all questions extensively have been covered much beyond the CA Institute material. So don't worry at all. Whatever problems has to be solved, it is completely being solved. If that is sure you do it, you'll be able to do it. And one last point for last minute preparation, what students keep getting it out. See, one thing I'll tell you, indirect taxes part, you finish on the day you write the previous attempt, previous paper. And next day you spend more time for direct tax. And the day when you write exam, just allocate your time on those areas which you feel you have to revise for the last time. that planning you do it. Which topic I won't tell, that depends upon you, because where you are weak, only you know, none other person knows that.
Right. So one question for Supriya, how to maintain consistency when I get tired on the other day when I study for one previous day the whole day? So basically, how do we remain energized and that thing?
So what I can tell you is, you try to divide your study sessions in shorter slots. So maybe, 1.5, 2 hours. After that, you take a 15-20 minutes break. In those 2 hours also, if you want, you can take a 5-7 minutes break. Now, see, it is proven that, our attention span is around 45 minutes. So after that, anyways, you tend to drag, you don't tend to study well. But the important thing is when you take these breaks, you should do something which rejuvenates your mind. So no YouTube, Netflix and all. Just listen to music, do some small things, small chores at home, or talk to some family member. Anything that relaxes your mind. Right? That is one thing. Second, include some physical activity in your day, maybe 30 minutes, but do that. That will help you to keep you more energetic. And as I tell you all, some breathing exercises, like maybe 15 minutes, the simplest of all, but that will really, really help you feel more energetic. These are 3 easy ways which will help you increase your overall energy levels. And to be consistent, if you can maintain, I provide my students a tracking framework wherein you keep a track of your time. But if not, you can just simply keep a track of your time, like how well are you utilizing your day, at least your study time, so that you know that today if you studied 5 hours, you will be motivated to put in more efforts tomorrow. So that is how you start being more and more consistent. So these are very, very easy ways. If you follow it, things will get better for sure.
Thanks, Supriya. So one thing what I have also started following is I plan my next day, and next day I come back and check how much did I complete out of my previous plan. Okay, then you start realizing where all you wasted time, where all you were doing beating unnecessarily, and wherever you were spending unnecessary time, and then things start falling into place. So there is a question from Arpit to Priyanka. Priyanka, so specifically for you, what was your strategy for law, and how did you learn law?
Okay, so learning in law, what I did was I followed Indigo Learn lectures absolutely. So they were extremely as per the ICA module. So while studying, I used ICA module in front of me and started marking points or important sections in that. Also, along with that, I prepared a section list for company law only. In other laws, I never made a section list or something like that. For company law, it is important to know the section numbers, especially those section numbers which are repetitively asked in exams. So more focus was for me, and some chapters which are very important, like chapter number 3, 7, and 9. More focus was on those chapters. And on priority basis, what I did was the questions which are already given behind the ICA module, the test your knowledge section, and previous year papers, RTPs and MTPs for law. That would majorly cover everything in law.
Okay, thanks Priyanka, thanks for the insight. So RTPs, MTPs, if you find it difficult to access it because institute removes them after 2-3 attempts, everything is available in our free resource section. You can download them and you can start reading and revising from that. Aman has a question that I wrote group 1 in November 21 but failed, and now I've started group 2. Now I'm planning to write both groups in May 22 attempt. Is it a good option? See, it depends. Your May 22 exam attempt depends on how much have you completed in group 2. If let us say as on today, you have completed almost 70-80% of group 2, then you have sufficient time to revise and write the next attempt. But if you have not yet completed, let us say you have just started with group 2, then I would say that time might not be sufficient to prepare and revise for both the groups. Okay, so based on your preparation level, you can take a decision. Yes, the material for EISSM is sufficient because that is based on ICAI material itself. We have just removed the content which might be unnecessary and we have arranged them in a slightly better manner. That is why you find it slightly easy. Otherwise, the material covers everything. You can check it, with the material, it covers everything out of that. If you take classes for group 1 now, is it possible to complete before May 2022? So 2.5 months, slightly tight, but if you can give extra 2-3 hours per day, definitely you will be able to do. Okay, so Priyanka, again, you can answer this if you want to. FM is difficult because of formulae. How should I prepare the formula? I think you can add, how did you remember formulae for the examination? What was your strategy?
So while I did the sum simultaneously, if there is some formula which I used to forget it again and again, I wrote it on a separate sheet of paper. Not every formula, just the formula which I used to forget. I wrote it on a separate sheet of paper and made a note of it. And for FM, the sums which are difficult or tricky, practice them 2 or 3 times. And the sums which are simpler, just go through it during your revisions and all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. So is Suchita Prakashan scanner useful for practice revision like tax, costing and account? See, Suchita Prakashan is nothing but a compilation of past exam papers. So, you can use them. You can use the institute, what institute gives. Either ways you can do it. What is the benchmark for AIR 50th rank? So in fact, we cannot set benchmarks, right? In fact, I think Priyanka, you scored 588, right?
I did.
Yeah. So we thought it would be a rank, but
it's just 2 marks actually.
It's well short by 2 marks. So I think 590 is the 50th rank.
Yeah.
Srinivas, it's been a very exhaustive day along with articleship. It's a very challenging task. Why everyone is talking from foundation point of view. We are doing, sorry, Srinivas, it's not intended that we are talking from a foundation point of view. We understand that, some of the students may be direct entry students. And if you are a direct entry student, you should, plan your studies or, preparation for the examination leave that you get from your principal, because you are already experiencing this now. All of the remaining students will face it during the final attempt, where they have to go for articleship and prepare for CA final. Okay, so there is no thing that we are only talking from foundation point of view. Now that you have brought about that point, with articleship you have to focus on maybe first 2-3 hours of the day in the morning and another 2 hours in the evening for your preparation, and Sundays and Saturdays. 2 months enough for both groups. Revision, it is sufficient. But first time it may not be sufficient. RTP or MTP, what is better? MTP basically picks up questions from the previous attempts and RTPs. So you can use RTPs and past exam, that would be sufficient. Okay, so I'm just putting a general answer for a lot of students who are asking whether we should write both the groups in May attempt or you should write only one group. That purely depends on your preparation. Today, after this session, you will list down all your 8 subjects. Okay. Then against each of those 8 subjects, you write down how much of syllabus have you completed so far. What is your confidence level? Okay. Which subject you find difficult. Based on that, you have to take a decision, because there cannot be a blanket rule that, everybody can write both the groups or everybody can write only one group. Okay. It purely depends on what is your level of preparation. If you feel that, no, I have already prepared once properly, I just need to revise, then you please write mock test papers and start revising and prepare for your upcoming attempt. If your status is like, no, I have only completed 50%, then in that case, it will be difficult for you to write both the groups. And let me tell you one thing, when we ran surveys, in our earlier attempt also and in this attempt also, students who have been able to complete most of the syllabus before 2 months of their examination, they have, performed better in the examination. So syllabus completion is very, very important. We think that, we'll prepare in the last 1 month. This is not an engineering exam. This needs consistent studies over a period of time. Okay, then I took group 2 now. Managing articleship and exam is complicated. So give me a better solution to give my best results. I don't have an idea how and where I should start. Okay. So we have a student who is writing group 2 and also articleship. So if you can tell us, how many hours of time can you spare apart from articleship, then we may be able to, help you with a plan. While when I go for solving, I get stuck somewhere. I understand it, how to deal with. Okay, Priyanka, I think you need to answer this. When I solve a problem, I get stuck somewhere, and when I see the solution, I understand and I leave it there. How to deal when you are stuck with a problem? It's a practical question.
Okay, so like while practicing, if you see a sum and you can't get through it completely, it's okay if you have seen the solution for once, but ensure that while doing it for the second time, you solve it on your own. And if you can't solve it for the second time also, please make a note of that sum that I am getting stuck at this particular point again and again, and revise that what is the concept over there and try to understand what is the actual problem that you're facing in that concept.
So one more thing what we can do, Gauri, is, make a list of tricky adjustments. I used to call it tricky adjustments. Some adjustments which how much ever you try to understand, you'll get stuck. It used to happen with me also when I was a student. So what I used to do was I used to have a separate section both for audit. Audit mein I used to forget points. Okay. So audit ke liye I used to have a separate book where I used to write down the points which I used to forget. And for accounting and costing and all, I used to mark, okay, this is a tricky adjustment. This goodwill adjustment is tricky, or this goodwill calculation is tricky. So accordingly, you can revise that before the examination. Okay. Right. So there is a question on how to prepare for accounting standards and approach accounting standard problems. I think accounting standards, the best way for you to approach is understand the concept, practice the questions, given in the study material, given in our lectures, and look at the RTPs and few past exam papers. So that is, that is what you can, do it. And, if you practice 4 or 5 attempts paper, that should be sufficient. सर आई गिवन एग्जाम दिसंबर में एग्जाम दिया था बोथ ग्रुप इंटर का, बट मैं फेल हो गया, मेरे दोनों ग्रुप मिला के 294 आया, क्या मैं 2 ग्रुप दे सकता हूँ? अगेन ऋषभ, अगेन आपको मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर आपने दोनों ग्रुप लिया 294 मतलब मार्क्स तो ठीक ही है, एकदम खराब मार्क्स वैसे भी नहीं है। आपको ये समझना है कि कौन से सब्जेक्ट में आपको मार्क्स कम आए हैं, उसमें आपको कितनी दिक्कत है, हाउ डिफिकल्ट इट इज फॉर यू इन दोज सब्जेक्ट, और उसके बेसिस पे आपको डिसीजन लेना है। मैं मार्क्स के बेसिस पे मैं डिसीजन ये नहीं ले सकता कि मुझे नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में क्या करना है। आई कैन नॉट डिसाइड इट बेस्ड ऑन द मार्क्स। मेरा प्रिपरेशन लेवल क्या है उसके बेसिस पे मुझे डिसीजन लेना पड़ेगा। ओके, कैन आई गेट द क्लास फॉर ओनली लॉ? यस, यू कैन गेट द क्लास ओनली फॉर लॉ इफ यू वांट। once in a while we also give specific chapters, we can do it. Okay, then one more thing, guys, we have not touched upon that aspect. Each one of you, should get certified copies of your answer books, because that will help you understand where could you not score marks, what did you write and what was the marks given, what is the suggested answer. That will be a checkpoint for you. Mock test paper writing is one thing, getting certified copies is also important. And if somebody wants a broad guidelines based on the certified copies, you can mail your answer books to support@indigolearn.com and we'll be happy to help you out on that. Okay, then Priyanka, how to prepare for costing from examination point of view?
From exam point of view, I believe 100% focus should be on ICI material. The ICI illustrations, the test your knowledge section, past attempt papers and RTPs. They are more than enough for costing.
So again, I think for costing, the same holds true for accounting also. If you do that and if you're conceptually, see, one more important thing is you have to be conceptually very clear. Let me share you one example, one incident, what happened with us when we were in final. Institute gave a question which was never asked in history. Means last 10-20 years there was no reference to such questions. No author had that question, but those who were conceptually clear could attempt that question. Okay, that is very, very important for each one of you. Kavya says, I get only 4 hours. 4 hours and I can't do some without seeing a book. I often forget things in the exams. Supriya, if you can give some tips and tricks to get over this fear of forgetting in examination.
So am I audible or is okay? I could.
Yeah, it's audible.
Yeah, okay. So how to remember better? The most effective way is revisions. The best way, the more number of times you revise, the better. That is the most scientific way. And like Priyanka said, like making whatever for law, for example, sections, costing, whatever other important formulas, FM, similarly. So the more number of times you revise, see, as she correctly pointed out, you instead of doing it, it's not possible for you to dedicate a lot of hours. What you can do is dedicate shorter spans. Every day, maybe you do a particular subject, what you forget a lot. The more number of times you do it, the better you'll remember. That is the main idea behind remembering things. The more number of revisions, and if your concepts are clear, you've not memorized things, you've understood things. That's the second thing. So these two things are really important.
So I'd just like to pick up one from that, conceptual clarity. Please focus. See, even if you do 100 problems and if your concepts are not clear, Institute will give you 101st question, which we had never seen in the past. But if you're conceptually clear, you will be able to manage that thing, right? Then there is a question, is qualifying CA and CMA both beneficial? We have Shiva Teja with us, who is CA and CMA. What would be your thought on that? You can let us.
See, when you qualify CA, the CMA, whatever you qualify, additional qualification, what you get will just add value to you. That's for sure. See, I'm also a qualified CA and CMA, but prima facie, I'm a practicing chartered accountant along with also being a tutor. But as such, CMA extra qualification will definitely add value to you as such. But I won't say that it will become a double as such. It won't double your profession or double your career, double your income and all. It's not like that, but definitely add value to you.
Oh, thanks. Apsara asks, will it be enough if you make use of the entire 2 months present from now on to attempt only intergroup one? Yes, definitely. 2.5 months. It's not 2 months. It is 2.5 months. Okay. If you start today, so it would be sufficient. Can I rely on Indigo tax material completely, or should I also see ICI? See guys, one thing, we have covered ICI material. We have left some questions for your practice, and definitely we have been telling this again and again. You can watch the videos, understand the concept, practice the questions given in the class. Please don't say that you will not read the institute's material. Okay. And you have been seeing, so many interviews we have conducted with almost everyone saying that you have to keep your ICI material with you. Like what Priyanka was mentioning. She was watching the lectures in law and she was keeping she had kept ICI material along with it, because that is the Bible. That is the source from where the institute would be asking questions. Okay. How to approach audit and EISSM, we had already covered it once. If you find difficulty in EISSM and audit, one thing, if you have scored less, you can get the certified copies and understand where you went wrong. Second thing, what Priyanka suggested earlier, you have to continuously revise. Every day, dedicate a time. Today, 1 hour for audit, 1 hour for EISSM, or alternate days, or 3 days audit, 3 days EISSM, something like that. Just a second. Then in the accounts paper, accounting standards, I was going on writing. I was like this, I should be included in so many invested time. Okay. Now, I can relate to what Gauri is saying. I remember one student who had written an answer on accounting standard, I think 26 on intangible assets. Earlier, we used to have accounting standard 8. She started her answer. She or he, I don't know. Okay, so sorry for referring to it. See, the answer started like earlier there used to be accounting standard 8 and now we have accounting standard 26. Those are not relevant. So what is relevant? From an examiner point of view, there is a purely a stepwise marking. Now, how should we ensure, or how should we ensure that we do not write excess in the examination? Now, accounting standards, let me, for example, take a case. You get a question from accounting standard 2. There is a standard question what institute keeps on asking, inter and final level. The company has raw material MP1, MP2, this is the NRV, this is the replacement cost. What should be the inventory value? That is the question. Now, in that question, you are not expected to write inventory means goods which are held for sale in the ordinary course of business, this and that. That is not needed. When the question is asking what should be the value of inventory, then at the most you can say inventory is valued at lower of cost or net realizable value. Next item could be raw material are generally valued at cost. But if the finished goods are sold below cost, you have to value them at replacement cost. This is the theory you should write, and then you should solve the problems. When the question is problem solving or illustration or numerical based, don't give GAN about accounting standards that you know. Okay. Similarly, when it comes to taxation, if there is a question on computation of income, for every head, just give a 2-line explainer. That why did you add that item? Why did you deduct that item? What was your working note? Working note is very important if you are computing something. So that is how you should approach. Now, a ballpark number, if I should say, if it is a 5-mark question, it should not be more than 1 page. Okay. Try to write in bullet points or 2-3 lines, sentences, and then leave space and write it. But don't write all the things on earth that you know. Write according to what the question has asked. Let us say if the same question comes to 2 marks, you are not expected to write 10 points. So in fact, the institute says for every point, we are supposed to give 1 mark. Okay, that is how the guidance is given generally. So based on that, you can actually prepare your answers. How many attend old question papers should be referred for better preparation? At least 4. At least four previous attempts you should attempt. How to score exemption in accounts and advanced accounts? So I think that is where you have to be confident in writing the answers. If your concepts are right and if you're able to solve the questions properly, you'll get an exemption. Now, one thing for accounts and advanced accounts, I'm specifically highlighting one more aspect is students tend to do a mistake of, in advanced accounts specifically or in accounts also, they will start with consolidation, they will start with amalgamation, they'll start with partnership. Why? Because they had prepared, they had invested a lot of time in preparing for that. Whereas you get out of out marks in questions like ESOP, cash flow, profit prior to incorporation, where chances of making mistakes are less. Okay, try to attempt those questions where chances of making mistakes are less, so that you get those exemption marks. Priyanka, if you want to add something on that.
Definitely, sir. The chapters which are small and they are surely asked, in the paper, so that will definitely help us to score better marks. Even I had focused on chapters such as profit prior to incorporation, buyback, bonus shares, etc. So that actually helped me to at least be sure that I would score 5 on 5 on this particular question. So it was really helpful for me to do that.
Okay, thanks.
And also I focused a lot on accounting standard concepts as well, because that is actually a 20-mark question, which is compulsory we have to write.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So there's another question. I don't know why I always forget one concept each time whenever I open a book. Any solution? Let me tell you, Srinivas, you can go and ask any student, any rank holder. You can ask Priyanka also. I think a lot of times when you open the book, you will see that everything is in Greek and Latin and you are reading it for the first time. Okay, it is natural. Please accept it. We are not superhumans who can remember everything just by reading once. Okay, and you will face this problem again in CA final. The books itself are 1,000 pages and 1,200 pages. You cannot remember everything. So the only option, as Priyanka suggested, as Supriya suggested, and in fact we have been insisting, is keep on revising. That is the only way to crack the examination. So theory, we have spent a lot of time. Again, we have been repeating: revise, understand the concepts, and write. Okay. Then how to revise amendments? Shiva Teja, if you can answer on that.
Yeah, so for amendments, simple strategy is that every time for amendments, we have been releasing the separate video for the statutory update, which is a very short and sweet and cute video. Just watch out that video. I'm sure your amendments will be done. Of course, every amendment, we are also recreating that amendment in your original videos also. But all said and done, separately also we're releasing the video on YouTube every time. So that will be very handy for you just before the exam. So I'm sure that particular short video will be quite sufficient enough for you to revise the amendments.
Okay. And also one more question is, can I complete taxation classes if I start from today for May 22?
Definitely, highly possible, because we're standing on the first week of March and we have exams in the May. So I'm sure that's quite sweet time for you to complete. But ensure that on a daily basis, whatever videos you watch out, night you spend out a half an hour, 45 minutes time on revising and practicing whatever videos you watch for that day. That's very important. Your preparation is one task, revision is second task. If any of this task goes wrong, you are done for the day. Both has to be done at any cost, because I believe that revision is very, very, very important, not just the first round of preparation. Your revision will make a tremendous difference in your presentation. As simple as that. If you ask me one question, Shiva sir, come on, tell section number of Companies Act, so and so section number. I'm sure Priyanka can tell, but I can't tell because I don't revise. But if you have GST section, I'll tell, because day in and day out, I do that. Simple answer.
Correct. Yeah. So if you ask me, when I was writing, it was very difficult for me also to remember the sections. I hardly remembered any sections because I don't know. It was really difficult for me to remember. And in fact, they had just introduced standards on auditing from auditing and assurance standards. That also had become a challenge for me to remember.
So, and since section number point has come, one line I'll tell here. See, students, a lot of people keep asking me that, sir, is section number mandatory to write in the exam? See, I don't say that it's CA inter level, it's mandatory, but all said and done, when you write an answer with section number, definitely you are treated much better in the exam. Your paper will definitely look much better with a good amount of weightage. So if you ask me directly, sir, itna story mat bolo, sir, one line you tell, should we write or not? My answer is straight yes, because your presentation will be the best. So do that.
So there is a question: if I practice only RTP and MTP, can we crack exams? Because I can't get enough time to prepare and understand whole concepts deeply. I have only 1 month leave. Fear takes more part than concepts. So there are too many things what she has asked. But I think again, these are the thoughts which keep on going inside any student's head. Now, let me tell you one thing. If you talk about fear, right? Every time we say that we have fear. Why are we? What are we afraid of? We are afraid of exams and what would happen because of after writing the exams, what would be the results? That is what is causing fear. Now, don't you think even let's say take the example of a player. Let's say Virat Kohli is going out to bat. Doesn't he have a fear that today he'll get out for a duck, or he will not, contribute to his team's victory? He also has the fear. Now, Supriya would be better person to add on to here. But one thing what I have realized experientially is the day you accept that, there is an emotion called fear. It is just an emotion. Okay. It is nothing that, something has overpowered you. It is just an emotion. You need to accept that. Once you accept that, you will be able to focus on your preparation better. One technique, what I, suggest and, the students, which they can try, whatever is causing the fear, right? Please write it down on a paper, tear off that paper and throw it off. Keep on repeating it. And, you can come back later and you can, let us know personally. Also, you can mail it to support whether that actually helped you. Whatever is causing the fear, exam is causing the fear, what in that examination is causing the fear. Take a paper, write it down. After you write it down, just tear that, throw it off, burn it off, do that. Definitely it will help you. And Supriya, if you can add thoughts on, how to overcome fear other than.
Just one more thing, what you said, I would like to add one more thing that, fear carries a lot of information. Okay, so what you can do is I tell my students, you use the 3 why technique. It's a very, very simple technique. I'll just tell you all in short. So whatever is your fear, ask yourself 3 whys. You will come to the main cause of the fear. And once you answer the fear, so for example, like for tax, you can't remember the section, start working on it. So your fear carries a lot of information. So work on it. So first I tell them, you understand what is your fear, analyze it and work on it. So that is one very, very important thing, other than obviously what Suraj said, like, writing. So that is one part. Other thing is the fears that we have, what will happen if I don't clear, what is the impact not clearing CA will have? Maybe, what you're worried about, your reputation with your family, friends, umpteen things. So just write it down. That will help you vent it out and tear it off. But about your subjects, work on it. So work on what are the causes of your fear. Ask yourself these 3 whys. So once you break down your questions, you will come to the answer.
Sure. Thanks, Supriya. And don't think that, because I told write and tear, start tearing your notebooks and textbooks and all of that. Okay. So please don't do that. Just on a lighter note. Then we have completed that. How to study both groups in 2 months plan. See, 2 months, 8 subjects, 7 days per subject. Subject where you find difficulty, give 1 more day extra. As simple as that. Now, when I say 7 days per subject, I'm not saying one subject in the, all the 7 days. Then you can just split that, maybe 3 to 4 hours for one subject. You can do 3 subjects per day, and then you can plan it accordingly. FR paper, it's delivered by Satya, sir. Okay, so Satya is having, voice throat related issues, and he's not been able to pull up longer hours of teaching. So I have taken up the task of completing the FR paper. And how many hours did you study, Priyanka? I think she mentioned she studied about 8 to 10 hours. Okay. Yeah. Who are the faculty for FR? Suraj plus Satya. So I would be taking FR, right? So I think that is not relevant in this discussion. We are talking about May 22 examination. Revision classes on YouTube. We'll definitely try on that. Thank you, Shiva Teja, sir. Because of you, GST became my core subject. Okay, so Shiva Teja have been an inspiration for GST.
Even I would agree on that.
Okay, thanks, Priyanka, on that. Okay. Kindly tell us strategy for students writing group 2 while doing articleship. So now, when you're doing articleship, you have to see how many months of leave will you get, and then how many hours per day you can, dedicate other than the leave period. So from now, let us say we are in March. When will you get the leaves? Let us say you get leave from 1st of April. So you have to make a plan accordingly, thinking that in the month of March, you have, maybe about 5 hours per day to prepare, 4 to 5 hours. And then the balance preparation have to be pulled up in the month of April and May. How to manage time in advanced accounting to attempt for more marks? I think you need to take a couple of mock test papers, Sheikh. That will help you, get a hold of, completing the given paper in the given time slot. 2 to 4. See, you can do 2 subjects, 3 subjects, 4 subjects. It's up to you. I am an intermediate student. Ayushi has asked a question. Group 1 in December 1 and did not clear. I've scored exemption in law. Great. I've already started preparing for group 2 and completed 50% of syllabus of audit and FM Eco. What should I do? Now, see, what you should do is, what is the status of advanced accounting and EIS assessment? If you say that, we have not yet started that, then it might be difficult for you to complete both the groups. Okay, so based on that, you can take a decision. Studying direct tax, we have already discussed it. You can go back and listen to this session again if you have joined in late. Is it mandatory in exam to write ICI subheading? Yes. You cannot create our own subheading. Amendment for company law also will be released on YouTube channel and it will be available. RTP, MTP, 3 to 4 years. Okay, then too many questions. What to do after articles if you didn't clear whether to continue work or study? I think this is a very person specific question. If you did not clear exams after articleship, you can start thinking, what are your priorities? Based on that, you have to take a call, because we will not be in a position to decide for you in that aspect. We definitely can guide you. Think what is your priority and accordingly you can do that. Priyanka and I think Supriya, both of you can give some tips for consistent preparation without distraction.
I guess avoiding social media, it is something very much important. Given that only 2 months are left for examination, social media use should be reduced to a considerable basis. That's what I did actually.
Okay, Priyanka, Supriya, if you have some thoughts on that.
Yeah. So, so that is right. Again, for reduced, so when you're studying and especially theory subjects, one quick tip is, try reading out loudly. So when you try to read out loudly, automatically your other thoughts stop and you're able to focus better. At least for things which you're finding difficult to understand, it will automatically reduce your distractions. Again, which I said in my previous answer, that try again taking shorter breaks and let the studies be quality studies. Instead of quantity, take your breaks so that you're refreshed and rejuvenated and you can get back to studies. That is another effective way.
Sure, thanks. Priyanka, were you studying theory in morning and or practicals in the morning?
No, theory in the morning, practicals rest during the day, and again theory half an hour at night. The revising thing, whatever I had learned in the morning.
Okay. Okay, guys, we have got a lot of questions. Thanks for your time. I think we'll be, it's already 10 and we had asked for half an hour permission from the all three of them and they have been kind enough to extend. So we'll conclude the session at 10. But in the meanwhile, we'll just respond to whatever questions have come in the meanwhile. How to aim for exemption for audit? I think there you need to focus on the MCQs. 30 out of 30 if you can score, I think it makes a very good base for scoring an exemption. Then re-verification. Yeah, definitely. If you feel that you got less marks, rather than re-verification, you go for certified copies. Sir, I do practice all the problems in accounts and costing with better understanding and clarity, but is it necessary to practice again and again? No. Easy problem, no need to go back and practice again. Okay. So please don't get into that, I have to do all the 200 problems again. No. Only the tricky one, the difficult ones, you should practice again and try to include past exam papers and all of that. It would be easy. If you fill exam for both groups and appear for one group, is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed. Then December special offer, we will let you know. I don't think anything, we have not yet thought on it actually. Rapid revision videos, as I told, for EIS, SM is already available. For taxation, we are planning. For some topics of accounts, we are planning, that is there. Presentation tips, we already have a separate video on YouTube on that. You can refer to it. If you are doing self-study from ICA module, will that be sufficient? Yes, very much sufficient. In fact, I had done all my, except for CA final law, right from foundation, inter and final, I had done it based on self-study itself. So it's very much possible. It's not that it is not possible to do it on self-study. See, let me tell you one thing, honestly, your effort is what will comprise or constitute 80%, 90% of your performance in the examination. Faculties, notes, textbooks, everything they are just facilitators. Okay. How much ever the coach instructs or coach guides, finally the player has to go and perform in the examination. Ultimately, it is your effort. It is your effort. We are just here to guide you. And that is why this session is being conducted. And, we're thankful that so many of you would take time out and then, we are able to discuss important things for an examination. Balaji, for audit, revision, some topics are already there. We'll let you know. As I told earlier also, Satya is having throat issues. So, we cannot let it go more worst, but still we'll think of a plan where we can get the audit thing revision. Right. So, thanks a lot for your questions. If you can give your concluding pointers or tips for the students, Supriya and then Shiva Teja and then Priyanka, it would be helpful. Supriya, if you can give your, concluding tips.
Yes. So as I said, don't let this failure be a setback for you. Take this as a learning ground and put in your best efforts. Start now, start as early as possible, right? Work on your weak areas, whatever. So I've given you all some pointers. Suraj has given you some pointers. Start working on it and all the very best and be positive, right? And one more important thing, right strategies and right mindset. So have a good positive mindset and things will work for you. Thank you and all the very best.
Yeah, Shiva Teja, your concluding things.
Yeah, all the very best, guys. Wish you all success, and I'm sure you will definitely take a lot of interesting inputs from this discussion and perform extremely well in the exam and come out with flying colors. Wish you all the success. And last but not the least, any support, any point of time, we are with you and we'll always be there with you.
So see, a lot of you students, whether you are paid student or whether you have not purchased a course from us, we are happy to help you at our forums till the time you ask relevant questions, subject related question. If you have something to do related to your preparation strategy, or if you are still not yet confident or fear factor and all of that, you can check out the mentorship thing which Supriya does, right? That is actually helping a lot of students, right? Because I think the way Supriya would be able to guide you through this tough times would be very different from what we would guide on the subject related things, right? Because she has been dealing with students in this aspect. So feel free, we have forums open for all of you. Make use of MCQs available at the forums for practice, and we have thousands of MCQs which you can practice on a daily basis. That will help you score good marks in the examination. Priyanka, if you can share your concluding remarks, any specific pointers and tips for the students.
Yeah, so maintain consistency while studying, have confidence in whatever you study and believe in yourself. That is something very important. That self-belief should be maintained throughout the preparation, and be consistent.
Sure. Thanks. And thanks everyone for taking time at 9 o'clock in the evening. And it has been nice addressing your questions. I hope we have been able to throw some clarity. As we conclude the session, few things. Check your syllabus completion status and ensure that you complete your syllabus, revise properly, write mock test. Mock test has been added to your respective subjects. So please write mock test. It is very important. Get certified copies, keep on practicing MCQs, and whenever you have any doubt, whenever you have any query, feel free to ask us at the forum. You can send up image of the question, you can type in the question, and because the moment you ask a question, there would be an answer to that and you will retain that longer. See, if you feel that this is a simple question, I should not ask and all of that, that's not the right way, because at the forums it doesn't matter whether what others would think, and if you feel that this is a very silly question, I don't want public to know about it, you can keep it as a private forum. We have that option, right? You don't need to always put it as a public question. You can put it as a private forum. Only the admins of the of the content team would be able to access that, and we'll be able to help you out on that. But don't hesitate to ask for any kind of support or any kind of help that you want. We are there with you, and maybe we'll catch up again with upcoming revision sessions. Some of them would be recorded and would be launched on YouTube, and you can keep asking questions, keep on revising, look for amendments, and all the best. And yes, before you start, definitely do a stock take of your syllabus completion status of each of the subjects, and what Supriya had mentioned initially about those 6 questions. I think the time you start writing about those 6 questions, you will get some clarity as to where you are lacking and start working on that particular area. Thanks a lot. It has been nice, doing this YouTube live session. And thanks Supriya, Priyanka, and Shiva Teja for taking time out of your family time, I should say, and then agreeing to help the students at this point. Thanks a lot once again.
Thank you.